Hey, welcome back to I Allegedly. I'm Dan, and I've got a good one for you today because you need to get ready for $12 an hour gasoline. Hello, hello, hello. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, but let's get right into it. Gas prices stem from oil, and right now we have a real big conflict between Israel and Iran right now that is going to continue for days, if not weeks or months right now. And what this does is it's going to create oil to shoot up. Experts have said that we could see oil hit $300 a barrel right now. Now that is crazy, guys, because it's in the 70s right now. After the conflict started, it dropped $3 a barrel, so everything is going to work out. But what you're seeing right now is you're seeing that we could easily see one of the straits get blocked. You could easily see the conflict continue to where oil prices could hit $300 a barrel. This would then make gasoline in places like Texas $12 a gallon. Now in California, it'd probably be 20, okay, with all our nonsense here. It's funny, we have refineries here that they're closing and prices are only going up. We've got a 63-cent a gallon increase coming July 1st, and whatever. People just don't care because it's going to fight nothing and it's going to go to the politicians' pockets. Now, if this happens, you're going to see an immediate shutdown for shipping. You're going to see people will not be able to afford this. The average family right now spends $3,000 to $4,000 a month on gasoline. That would easily triple right now, if not more. Here in California, it could go 5 times the regular rate. That is nuts, guys. Who has that kind of money right now? But it would put a damper on everything from entertainment. It would put a damper on travel. It would put a damper on retail purchases, food shipping, everything. But, just to give you an idea of where it's going to go from there, is that truckers, airlines, and shipping firms would be hit immediately. And these firms could basically be put out of business, especially the smaller ones, within a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. You could see these people go out of business. Now, I'm one of these people that thinks things are by design, that they do things to us, not, wow, this is the effect of this, action. No, I think it's done to us personally. But you're going to see, diesel. Think about this. Diesel that works our trains, that moves our trucks, that gets your foods and your makeup and your supplies and your paper towels and your paper plates, everything, okay? It's going to go to $15 a gallon in the simplest of states. And let's just use Texas again. Well, California, you could see $22 a gallon diesel here they're talking about. What would a hamburger be with diesel at that? What's a hamburger going to be at $12 an hour gasoline? It's going to be $28 to get a hamburger. So smaller freight companies will go out of business. Expect delivery delays. This will make COVID chaos look tame, is what experts are predicting. So, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Cost of goods would skyrocket. Now, think about this. Oil impacts 6,000 products that are made from oil. And yes, your makeup, yes, clothes and tires and everything that affects each and every one of our lives every single day. But it's going to immediately make groceries go through the roof, clothes go through the roof. You're going to see electronics go through the roof. Again, people are holding back right now on purchasing things like this. Think the car market's bad now? My God, it'll be buy a cup of coffee and get a free car. Appliances and your prescription drugs. Think about this. I did that last video inside the Whole Foods market, and so many people have said, wow, Dan, I had no idea that they got hit by the cyber attack. Yeah, it barely made the news, guys. New York Post was about the only people that talked about it. Let's keep it under wraps. Let's not bring this out there. I'm telling you, if you shop there, you know this, because where is everything? And then and again, employees are told what to say. And don't think that you ask these people. I spoke to 4 of them that told me, I have no idea, sir. I don't know. We're going to get stuff in soon. So they acted like it was no big deal, that they were going to get merchandise in, when in fact the cyber attack has shut down everything from their delivery services. So it's only going to get worse, guys. You're going to see food go up a minimum of 40% if this happens. 40%. Can you pay 40% more for food right now? You can't. You can't afford to do this. So it's just crazy, guys. I mean, you know, you can sit there and say, oh, they'll have government price controls. They're going to limit it to make sure we're safe. They're not going to do that, guys. They're not going to do that at all. They don't do it now, right now. You think they're going to do it then? No way. No way. So what you're going to have is you're going to have massive layoffs with this. You're going to have, you know, the transportation industry being completely destroyed. That includes airlines, logistics. Logistics are you order a product and get it from here to there, and it's the company that moves it for you and stores it and makes sure that your cheese stays fresh to get to the market, then to get to your house and to your table. That's a logistics company. Retail, you know, from fewer demand, it's going to absolutely destroy these companies. You're going to see places, all we see is retailers go out of business right now. At home, remember I talked about that company? I went in there and filmed there 2 weeks ago, how they were potentially going to go bankrupt. Well, they went bankrupt yesterday. Bravo, guys. Now think about this scam. See, this is where you and I have no chance. They had $2 billion worth of debt. Okay, so they're going to file a prearranged bankruptcy at Chapter 11. They're going to get rid of $2 billion worth of debt. They have 260 stores right now, and they're going to be given $200 million for financing to keep them going. And again, I beg you to tell me when the last time you went to one of those stores, because when I asked that question last time, 2 people reached out and said they had been there. And one guy was a good buddy of mine and his wife, and that's it, guys. Nobody shops at home. So having them go through bankruptcy is just going to be an extension through summer. It's not going to be anything that's going to keep them in business, to say the least. So, you know, all the layoffs are going to happen. Think about this. Manufacturing due to initial costs are going to go through the roof. And I love coming out here. It's a really, really nice street. You've got the private island right there. This island right there, Bay Island, has no cars on it. So you have to walk there or have a golf cart. That's the only way to get to the island. And I don't know why. I've never met anybody nice over there. All a bunch of snobby buttheads. So, agriculture, diesel, fertilizer, and water pumping costs would soar. Food prices, would just go through the roof. And you're easily going to see, fruits and vegetables and things like that go up to at least 50% more. So, again, absolutely through the roof, guys. It's going to be absolute chaos. But so many people didn't know about the cyber attack with with Whole Foods, but it's out there. Look at this. Let me show you guys the Duffy. These electric boats have been around forever, and they're very cool to rent. Very easy to operate. And if you ever come to, one of these places with no waves, they're very easy to use. Run them by the hour and stuff like that. But, so, gonna see craziness, guys. You know. Here's the other thing: is that um, Spectrum, the cable company, had a cyber attack over the weekend. Well, it was not really a cyber attack; it was just an attack on some of their output lines. And see, this is clearly somebody that worked there, because show me the cable line in this neighborhood. You know what I mean? You'd have to work for them to understand, how to cut that. So somebody cut it, and a few thousand people lost cable access, lost internet access, and couldn't do anything over the weekend during the protest. So that showed everybody, There is a process when you get foreclosed on for anything, okay? Now think about this. You get foreclosed on for not paying your taxes, property taxes. You get foreclosed on for not paying your mortgage. You get foreclosed on because you don't have insurance and they sell the house. If they sell the house and you have a mortgage on it, let's just say it's $100,000 that you owe on the house. If they sell the house and they get a dollar more, that's your money. And most people don't know that. That overage is your money. Well, there's a guy in Webster County, and he lost his house, inherited his house, and couldn't afford the $39,000 in taxes. And guess what they did? They sold the house, which is what happens. Okay, guys, I'm not gonna give you guys foreclosure 101, but that's what happened to this guy. Now the problem with it was they had an $86,000 profit on it and just kind of kept it quiet. And no, 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 no. That's not how this works, guys. This guy's supposed to get his refund back. So, oh yeah, yeah, we'll work on that. No, don't fall for this, guys. Don't fall for this. Uh, my friend Doug, when he did his auctions, I went there one night, and there was a woman that died, and her daughter was there, and she was supposed to inherit the house, and because it went through probate, and she didn't have a trust, and didn't do it properly, she only owed about 90 grand on the house. So the house sold for almost $1 million right in front of my eyes. And I was like, wow. So instead of trying to buy the house back and get a lawyer, and the lawyer that she had was a complete incompetent fool, um, she's going to get the overage. So what Doug did out of the goodness of his heart was he said, listen to me, you're entitled to that difference. Okay. That's your money. And as the only, living, you know, person that can inherit money from your mother, heir, you're going to be entitled to that money. Now, we talked about the inventory barrage in Florida, and what you're seeing two areas in particular that I'm really concerned about. And the first one is Florida, and you're seeing a 40% increase on houses right now in Florida that are for sale. That is unbelievable, guys. The inventory will not sustain that. People cannot afford these houses. People are not buying these houses right now in Florida. So you're going to see prices absolutely plummet. And you're seeing people walk houses back to the bank. And one thing that we've talked about is canceled contracts on real estate. The number one area with canceled contracts right now in real estate is the Las Vegas area. Las Vegas has had tens of thousands of real estate deals canceled over the course of the last month. So it's only going to happen more and more and more. And again, if you want to purchase a home, do your research, get a deal, grind on the people. Some things are selling. I get every time I talk about real estate, it's great in my neighborhood. I live in South Carolina. It's fantastic. In Iowa, Dan, everything's busy. We were out over at the restaurant. They send me pictures of crowded restaurants and stuff like that. I can do the same thing, guys. But it's crazy. It's crazy. Nobody can afford to live in this economy right now. Think about this. If this happens with this gas, think about it. You won't be driving out there. You won't be doing anything. To charge your EV cars, you're seeing such horrible things happen to people that own electric vehicles. They are sick and tired of not getting the gas tax from you. So some states like California, they want to raise it, Texas as well too. They want to raise your registration fee to as much as $340 in addition to whatever the fees are regularly to register your vehicle in that state just because you drive an electric vehicle. The idea with this is very simple. They are not getting the gas tax from you. You're not buying gas. So there is an argument that you're going to see gold go through the flipping roof. And Bank of America says, forget what's going on in the Middle East right now. That is not going to make gold prices go to $4,000 an ounce. It's just the economic woes that people are having. The economy is suffering right now. It's not getting put together as fast as everybody wanted. And if this hurts it, you're going to see gold go up as far as $4,000 an ounce very shortly. And they're saying definitely by the end of the year, Bank of America is calling that. So get yourself some silver, guys. Get some silver. The housing market downturn, is going to be a permanent change. You're going to see a definite price decrease. So one thing that's wild is, I asked people, would they go to Elon's bank? And a year ago, when I asked that question, if Elon Musk had a bank, X bank, would you go to it? And it was about 80% positive. Let's ask that question again. Would you go to Elon's bank right now? Okay, well, people are going to sit there and say yes, no. It's going to probably be the reverse right now. What about Trump Mobile? Don Jr. and Eric Trump are starting a new mobile company, and the price of this is kind of funny. It's going to be $47.45 a month for unlimited services, but you can buy certain features that are kind of cool, where you can have telemedicine on your phone. Now, I want you guys to understand this. To be able to ask a real doctor or a medical person, not just Chat GPT, I've got a lump under my left arm. What's that? You know, I can't. I have a shortness of breath. It feels like a heart attack. I'm not talking about stupidity. I'm talking about actual telemedicine, which is very cool. As a parent with grown children, the one thing that I could not stand as a parent was when one kid would get sick and the other kid would get sick, and we'd pass it around like it was just, you know, the COVID festival in the house 20 years ago. The point was, we would end up having to take time off of work to go see the doctor to have them tell us, yeah, here's your Z-Pack, or here's this, here's that, and they would just give the kids the prescription. That would be it. Or if you had telemedicine, you could sit there and go, hey, what's the kid look like? Oh yeah, let's give this prescription. That's going to be cool. But imagine doing that on your own cell phone through your own cell phone service. The other thing is that they're going to have 100 different countries that you can text for free, similar to WhatsApp and similar to other things like that that are going to be incredibly inexpensive. Now, the final thing is, there is a very cool restaurant that is in South Coast Plaza in Costa Mesa, California. It's at a very cool mall. This is a place called Din Tai Fung. It's got the dumplings, it is Chinese food, and it is hardcore, and it is insane. This place has a line every day to it. Secret is, you sit at the bar and you wait less. But anyways, they've opened up all these locations now throughout Southern California and Vegas. And the Disneyland location, think about this, the one location does $27 million a year. That is, well, that's their average, pardon me, their average ticket per store is $27 million in sales for a restaurant. I'm telling you, everybody I've ever, like, hey, have you ever done this before? No, I had never have. And it becomes their favorite experience because you can pick and choose and have little, appetizers and different things, and everybody gets to try something. But it is crazy. But $27 million in sales for one location for a restaurant. That is incredibly successful. So get ready, guys. $300 a gallon oil, $12 an hour gas, $12 an hour. Yeah, you're going to make 12 bucks an hour pumping gas. Anyways, $12 a gallon to purchase gas. Okay? Anyways, this stuff's spinning through my head. Like, subscribe. You want to email me, it's hello@iallegedly.com. I'll see you soon.